China is brainwashing kindergartnens to hate the US, and it's training them to die for the CCP. And I thought my summer camp was rough. Welcome to China Uncensored, I'm Chris Chappell. You know how the Chinese Communist Party likes to talk about its peaceful rise? It's a miracle, even. Yeah, so peaceful they're literally training kindergartners for war. The Chinese military is organizing boot camps for kindergartners across the country. Kids are given fake guns, made to run drills, practice shooting each other, and apparently not being taught any trigger safety. It's part of what China calls patriotic national defense education, and it's been going on for decades. Very normal and sane. But the Chinese Communist Party is now pushing this harder than ever before. Earlier this year, the Ministry of Education and the Central Military Commission issued a notice calling for military garrison units to establish relationships with schools, including primary schools. And you thought some Americans calling to arm teachers was extreme. China is like, let's just make the kids killing machines. And this is becoming more and more common, everywhere from Anhui to Fujian to Zhejiang and more. This kills two birds with one stone. The kids get military experience and can be indoctrinated into the cult of communism. And clearly it's never too young. They'd probably give pistols to fetuses if they could. So that's why they ended the one-child policy. The fetuses could fight back. Now some parents are quite fond of these camps. They believe that these camps can help their children get some exercise, become more disciplined, grow from the experience, and have fun doing it all. And boy, are these kids having fun. Well, this is terrifying. If there's one silver lining, at least you know these kids might actually make their beds in the morning, and in 30 seconds flat. I mean, look at how they're teaching kids to fold clothes and set up beds, and how to obey their elders. At ease, soldier. Look at how happy these kids are. Don't worry, those are just tears of joy. And confused, terrified looks of also joy. So much joy. As you can see, PLA personnel are involved in these camps. And they're doing ridiculous things like making human pyramids with rifles. Did I say ridiculous? I meant strategically sound. Everyone knows male cheerleaders are the deadliest soldiers of all. And they're teaching more than just how to stand and salute. Much more. I'll tell you more after this short commercial break. Welcome back. The People's Liberation Army is training Chinese kids in military camps, and these are some serious war games. Kids are learning how to wield rifles, bazookas, even mortars. Yes, mortars. And apparently they work. What do these kids' parents hang on the fridge? Their target practice sheets? That's not all. They're practicing using knives, throwing stick hand grenades, and using batons and shields for riot control. Because what China needs most is a new generation amped up to commit police brutality. Now obviously they aren't training with the real things. And look at these fun arts and crafts projects they make. And here's the scary thing. Yes, the kids playing with bazookas somehow wasn't the scary part. This isn't just for building character. China's not just getting kids excited to play around with military equipment and do military-related activities. They're outright teaching hatred, especially against the US and Japan, by constantly pitting kids against them as the villain. And it's working. Considering how they're letting these kids play with weapons, they should probably ask them what they want to do if they grow up. Meanwhile, they're encouraging kids to look up to communists as their role models, by having them watch animated communist propaganda like this one called Long March Hero. And they're telling kids to inherit the red gene and be a brave little soldier. The red gene is an idea Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been pushing to ingrain socialist core values onto children, which in the end encourages love of and obedience to the CCP. This banner, for example, reads, "Inherit the red gene, carry forward patriotic feelings, love China, little soldier." Do any of Xi's subordinates want to tell him that inheriting the red gene just sounds like a euphemism for catching an STD? And the pictures they're posting on Chinese social media are truly bizarre. I'm not sure I'm really having a nice day thinking about how twisted this all is. Do they know that "welcome to my world" is supposed to be sarcastic? With the government and parents being so invested in these kinds of camps, it's no surprise that a lot of people want to cash in on it. But given the amount of physical activities and projectiles involved, it's no surprise that accidents are rising as well. Who could have seen this coming? That was rhetorical. Even Helen Keller could have seen this coming, and she's, dead. China doesn't have a good reputation for safety standards. In fact, there have been many cases of military boot camps causing untimely deaths, especially in the programs that treat internet addiction. A former student at the school told the Beijing Youth Daily it was common for teaching staff to beat students and cover their mouths with wet towels to suffocate them, which is a totally reasonable and well-balanced approach to treating someone who watches a few too many YouTube videos. Death was the only cure. Yeah, I don't really trust China to have my kids' best interests at heart. This new season of Squid Games is somehow even more dark than the previous one. In fact, I have a video I want to show you about how China has actually made laws making patriotism mandatory. I'll show that to you in a second. But while China's fueled by hate, China Uncensored is fueled by love and support we get from viewers like you on patreon.com/China Uncensored. All it takes is as little as $1 an episode to fight the CCP. You also get to ask me a question that I'll answer on the show. Today's question comes from Logan. Have you spoken with anyone that studies Xi thoughts on communism with Chinese characteristics? As a matter of fact, I have. His name is Kevin Carrico. He even has the certificate to prove it. Needless to say, it was an absolutely transformative experience for him. I'll leave a link to that article in the description so you can hear him gush about the experience. And it only cost him $49. I think you're better off supporting China Uncensored on Patreon, which you can do if you click this orange button, or click here for the video I was telling you about. Xi is losing his grip on power, and the only way he can hold on to it is by making patriotism legally mandatory. Check it out, it's wild. So Logan, thank you for your support, and thank you for watching. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.